Hello and welcome to another episode of VG Club. I'm your host, Daxter23Jack, aka Viv, and today I am joined by Chris, aka
Hey.
Priya Knight,
Hello.
Ben, aka BJK394,
Hello.
Javi, aka Javiously,
Yo.
and last but not least, Cool Luck, aka Marcus.
Hey.
And today we will be talking about the nearly 30-year-old cult classic Final Fantasy Tactics. And I think more specifically, most of us played the Ivalice Chronicles, the kind of remake they came out with last year, correct?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I played. Yep.
Okay. Just making sure that nobody was like, oh yeah, I've got the PlayStation original, I'm gonna crank that out.
I mean, if they did, I don't think there'd be an issue there. I think there's changes with War of the Lions, which is the PSP version of it, but
Oh, I didn't know there was changes with the PSP version. I know there was like cinematics they added, but
yeah, and we don't get those here. And I think they do a different, like slightly different script, basically the same, but I think they do. There's some changes in how it's presented.
yeah. Either way, I am glad I played the Ivalice Chronicles edition because that fast forward button was very handy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I'm guessing that wasn't in the PSP version.
I don't remember it in either of the other versions. No.
Okay. But yeah, I guess before we kind of get into things, does anybody want to give a brief synopsis of the story?
I can if
Marcus,
nobody
I'm
wants.
glad you volunteered. No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
Okay, Marcus, go.
No, I didn't finish this piece of shit, so someone else should do it.
Whoa.
Okay. It's let's see. It's a sprawling political epic of uh, houses in this place, Ivalice, and you follow Ramza, who is the bastard noble-born son of the House Belv, and uh, his low-born friend Delita, and they get crossed up in a plot to overthrow the current government and the different warring factions between, and generally becomes a uh, tale of class struggle between the rich and the regular people, the serfs.
Yeah. And I guess like spoilers for a 30 almost 30-year-old game, but then
Sure.
they JRPG tropes ensue, demons kind of get added to the mix, and then of course the final battle is, well, I don't want to say it's against a god, it's more against a prophet that turns out to be false.
Yeah, that's also kind of like a piece here is that like religion is a major factor within and the controlling of the populace through religion. Um, and yeah, and then maybe what the churches tell you aren't true. It's kind of like an underlying point here from
What a day
the
to record
writer's
this.
perspective, right? On Easter. Yeah.
Thank you, Christian Church, for never doing anything bad
I don't know who that
or
is.
power hungry.
Oh, you're talking about the Christian church, not
the
the
actual
video game Christian church. Yeah, okay.
I mean, maybe Christian Church, the person, has also done something bad. I don't know.
But yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good summation of the story. There's honestly a lot to chew on here, and I mean, I'm speaking as somebody who didn't even kind of dig into like and I don't know if this was in the original, but kind of like the choose your own adventure like storybooks.
Oh no, that's all new for this.
Okay, good to know. But yeah, there's a lot in here, and I mean, there's there's a reason why there's like an encyclopedia of different characters, because I definitely had to go through that every now and then to remind myself of everybody's names. Like, who's the High Confessor, or what's the last name of the kind of narrator author who started off this entire thing?
Yep. There's a lot of characters. Like uh some that will come into the story and then kind of just fade away if you don't continue to utilize them. But and then
Yeah.
there's just characters that are like here and then they're gone 3 scenes later because you've killed them or they're no longer needed in the narrative.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, this is a game that isn't afraid to kill characters. That's for sure.
So it was. I mean, I don't know when Game of Thrones came out, but it was like it's Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones came out, right? Like, I'm sure that the first book for Game of Thrones had been out around this time, but
Yeah, I'm actually curious.
Well, it's also
Um,
funny that like this is Final
You're right, Chris.
Fantasy, and then eventually Final Fantasy would take Game of Thrones as inspiration for what was it 16? Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This
yeah,
game's
I
not that
think,
different than
yeah,
16 in a lot of ways.
Game of Thrones was August 1996, and I believe Final Fantasy Tactics was 1997.
that
Mhm.
sounds right. Yeah, so probably not like
Yeah.
too much crossover between, but like very similar in scope, right? Like it's a
Considerably
sprawling
less
political
incest.
epic. Yeah,
Just a
yeah,
little
they
bit
don't.
less.
Well, yeah, I guess we are still dealing with the ruling class. But yeah, no, overall, I mean, I really enjoyed the story. I think at first it took me like a little while to kind of get into it. I think it's kind of like reading book like How to Kill a Mockingbird, like in school. At first,
What?
it's a school thing.
I was
I'm
expecting
getting
like
to
a
it.
Shakespeare comparison or something where the way they speak is harder to grasp.
I'm just saying, like, at first I was kind of treating it like a required piece of reading, but then I started getting more like engaged to it, and I'm like, okay, I understand why this is such a cult classic. Okay, maybe I should have used the Shakespeare example, but I was just trying to illustrate, like, at first, like, sometimes, like, required reading projects, like, in school, they can feel like a drag, but sometimes you get to a point where I'm like, okay, I understand why this is taught or why this is talked about in such reverence.
Sure.
Did you play the game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where we part ways because I was with you with like the narrative side of it. I thought it was surprisingly like a lot of meat to that. Uh, but then you actually have to like play the game between the narrative bits.
Yeah, and we can get to gameplay here. I mean, right now, if you want to. Marcus, it sounds like you've got a stone to grind.
Just so clunky and boring, and the game unless you're gonna play on like easy mode the whole time, the game requires you to grind. At least that's what it felt like. I
Wait, there was an
progressing
easy
and
mode?
yeah.
I mean, kind
Mode.
of like
There's
What's the
novice
easy mode? I'm actually curious.
oh, there.
novice.
Yeah, there's like the different difficulties you choose at the beginning, and
Oh, okay. I
is
don't
is that what
remember
is that what it
difficulty selection.
is that what it's called, Marcus? Novice? Like,
Yeah, I think it's like novice, swordsman, and I never looked at the hard one.
I think it's knight.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I think I went with swordsman then. I usually go for normal, but even normal was pretty hard for me.
Oh yeah.
Uh, there was a couple of boss fights where like it kind of bottlenecks you, kind of being like, "Hey, have you gotten these abilities to?" Because I like what was it? The fight against the demonic wheatgrass.
hmm
I needed to grind for auto potion to survive that.
Yeah, well, that's something I would complain about here is like they don't really explain they don't do a great job of explaining the job system and equipping skills and making sure you have your characters outfitted. Like you could grind out and buy a whole bunch of skills for different classes, and if you don't equip them properly, um, you're not carrying that stuff over where it's able to be carried over, and you're going into battle weakened because it just doesn't explain a lot to you.
Question for you,
Yeah, and
Chris. Equipping skills. How do you do that?
So if you go to the where you actually like equip equipment,
Uh,
there's a whole tab that like you can equip cross skills. So skills that
yeah,
are like some of them are passive, some of them are like active skills that you can actually do. So like you can equip throw on anybody after you've gotten it, but like it's default for what is it like uh, the chemist. I think like they
mhm.
have like throw like that is like a default skill for them, but you can get that and then equip it onto any of your characters. Um, but there's only like 5 slots there that you could utilize.
yeah. So, for instance, like with a more faith-based inclined character, which was something I had to look up. They didn't really explain bravery and faith. I just figured it was related to strength and magic stats. But um, yeah, for somebody who is more faith inclined, I would have like, oh, they're a summoner, and then they've got white magic as a backup to cure like status elements. That's their
Yeah.
secondary skill, and then would have boost magic or spell shortening, and movement plus 2, or kind of like counter equipped on them. All of that stuff.
Yeah, I think like pretty much anyone can learn any skill, but you have to grind for it. I think that's kind of the fun of the class, but also like the annoying part of the job system is like you do have to grind in order to unlock sometimes even like basic stuff like using potions when using Phoenix Downs and things like that.
Yep, like the
Yeah.
chemist can't just by default you like they have potion, I think, or might not even be potion right away. But then like to use a high potion, you have to grind that out and ether and Phoenix down, like to utilize those skills, like they have to basically learn them as you progress.
Which is why the fast forward button was very handy for me because I felt like I did a lot of grinding.
Wasn't fast enough.
Yeah, they could have sped it up a bit more, but I do understand where you're coming from to a degree, Marcus, because I grew up playing Fire Emblem like on the Game Boy, which is a very similar game. It's another grid-based tactics game, but I feel like Fire Emblem, even though it takes place in a very similar setting, it has unique character animations. Each character is unique, and in this game, you've got your main characters, and but once you can recruit them, they kind of fade into the background, and they're like, oh, well, we don't want them to have a main story part because they can actually get killed. God forbid.
I mean, there are characters that will have. So, did you guys recruit like Mustario or Mustada? I don't know how to pronounce it. Um,
He didn't bring his
the
cool gun
sniper,
with
right?
him.
what was that, Marcus?
That was the guy who had the cool gun when he
Yeah.
showed up in the story, and
Yes.
then you
Yep.
actually equip him, and he no longer has it.
yeah. Yeah. You have to re-get him a cool gun. Yeah. So like he's there, and he has like a whole side quest that like if you don't recruit him, you don't get to do his side quest, and there's like another 3 characters you can unlock, including Cloud, by doing it.
The
So
cloud.
yeah, like Cloud from from
That's
Final
Strife.
Fantasy VII. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they even find a way to kind of mix it in, like, oh, during this period of Final Fantasy VII, Cloud got lost in the not the ether stream. What's it called? The life
Yeah,
stream?
it's the live stream. It's when he's in a
Yeah,
coma.
yeah, and then
That's
basically
kinda
he's
cool.
like, "Oh no, I've got to get back," and then of course, he's having constant like headaches and being
Yep.
like, "Sephiroth," and then everybody's like, "Oh god, this guy's lost it. You need to be careful around him."
I mean, once you add him to your group, like he doesn't have anything to say again. But but like there are characters that have things like Mustario has that. There's trying to think of is it Orlando, Count Orlando.
Yeah,
Like if you bring him as a party member uh to battles especially in the late game, like he will have interactions with other characters. But most of them are just they're throwaway people. Like they're not characters that make any difference to the story. So really, like Ramza is the only one you need to keep alive.
yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's also kind of like the non-story characters very much all look the same, which, when I've got a character named like Alicia and one named Elise, I get them confused. And granted, you have the option to like rename them, but it would have been nice if I could have just been like given one of them like a different hair color, like same character
Yeah,
model,
yeah.
just different hair color. There's way too many blondes in this game. I'm just like, But yeah, no, I feel like just as somebody who kind of grew up on grid-based tactics games, I still prefer Fire Emblem because, yeah, as Marcus said, the system can be a little slow. The animations aren't anything too spectacular. Either, and it can take a while to kind of play out, move, that sort of thing. So that's why the fast forward button was very handy. But it sounds like for Marcus, it wasn't fast enough. Did you need it moved up to 10 times speed?
At least I needed the game to respect my time and just go through and having to, like it's already been mentioned, having to grind out the different jobs to get different spells or just to get strong enough to go over the next main story bit. It's just really annoying, and it feels like you know, a well, I mean, I know this is an old game, but it's very like emblematic of the time of just like, hey, these games are expensive, and we want these kids to be playing for a while, so like, let's just really make them work for it. Um, I
The
I
Lion
just
King approach.
wait, what? Like the Super Nintendo Lion King?
Yeah, no, they purposely made what was it, the second level, like really hard with all the monkeys throwing you every a which way direction, so like they could get over a certain like play threshold hold, so people couldn't beat it like in a single rental period.
Gotcha. My cousin owned that game, so I would play it a little bit. I assume die at that section and then switch it out for something else because that wasn't fun.
So
And that's really what this game was. It wasn't fun.
I'll say this for you, Marcus. If you did not enjoy the gameplay and difficulty and styling of this, don't play Tactics Ogre ever.
Is
Um,
that this on like steroids?
it's the game that what's it, Matsuno, who uh, worked on this originally, I believe. Um, he's the writer and director of the original Tactics.
Mhm.
That's his game from before this, and he basically takes like the same style of Tactics, except it is so much harder. So much harder. Um,
But the narrative, like at least with Let Us Cling Together, that's the only Tactics Over I've played, had a lot more like branching, kind of like narrative options. The characters felt a bit more kind of customizable, like not customizable, but diverse. Bleh.
sure. But like the original version of that game, not that at
Oh,
all.
well, the original version of Fire Emblem isn't anything to wax poetic about either. Shadow Dragon is not the best Fire Emblem game.
Sounds like a good genre, guys.
Wow.
Look, I think Fire
I
Emblem, most people agree, like hit its fever pitch when it started like weaving in the dating sim aspect and like lots of like social interactions in between, like the tactics stuff.
So where did they start doing that, Javi? 'Cause the
I think
only
there was
one
a
I've ever played
3DS.
was okay. So the only one I ever played was the GameCube one that you can play on Switch. Is that
Yeah,
Path of
so
Radiance?
right.
So yeah, basically
The
that's
3DS,
two
but I think
after
Three
the
Houses is the fan favorite on Switch.
Hmm.
yeah, but what was it? The first one that incorporated the dating elements was the 3DS one, which was Awakening. That's the one with Lucina.
Yeah, where nobody has feet. Everybody has like peg legs.
Oh,
It's a stylistic choice.
you really hated that, huh, Javi?
Oh no, it's just
Those
I think
feet
it's
were there.
funny. Look, it's a 3DS.
Avi is a
Yeah.
a connoisseur.
Yeah, yeah. I focus. I look down.
Sure you do.
Yeah.
They were
Final
really on
Fantasy
like little
Tactics,
peg
great
legs.
feet. Yeah, they have
Jeez.
like their legs come down to a little point.
Like a 64 game.
The 3DS,
Well, yeah, I guess
pretty sure.
3DS was sort of like a 64 plus, right? Sort of like in between that and GameCube.
I mean, it's hard to say because like
so weird.
Mario 64 ran on the original DS. You know,
Oh yeah,
it's a
that's
little.
fair.
It's better than the. I think it's somewhere between the GameCube and the N64 because like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask remake look way better.
Fair.
So. Also, freaking Resident Evil Mercenaries looks incredible. Looks like RE5.
Yeah, well, wasn't the Revelation games? Those were
Yeah.
technical powerhouses too, right?
Yeah, I think the second one was not on 3DS. I think only the first one. But yeah.
But yeah, I guess Ben, did you have any particular thoughts about like the gameplay because you also finished the game, correct?
Yeah, I finished it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's, I think the drawbacks of it, a lot of it are like just a game of its time period. I think if they were to ever make like an actual like modern day uh FF Tactics game, they would probably like, tutorialize it a lot more, explain how a lot of the job system works, things like that. But yeah, I think this game is definitely a, product of its time, but I think the remake did a decent job of trying to at least somewhat explain how a lot of the systems work without like, massively overhauling them. But yeah, I could see the friction for sure if someone is unfamiliar with this genre.
Have you played any other tile-based tactics games, Marcus? Like Advance Wars, Fire Emblem, Tactics Ogre, anything?
Keep listening, because so far, no.
I'm trying to think. Is there any other grid-based tactics games you guys can think of?
I mean, I've played like
Into the
not
Breach.
tactics, but I played like XCOM, a little bit of Into the Breach. But yeah, I do on the grid-based side of things. I do more the XCOM, Empire Sin. What was that freaking? It wasn't an X-Men game, but it was like the Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns is
Yeah,
card based. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
That's
definitely more
XCOM too.
modern than this for sure.
yeah.
Marcus just wants it to be like he 2010 or after for his tactics games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I guess
I get
like when
that.
I say tactics games, that's why I get specific with like grid-based tactics because then you get into like PC kind of like tactics, strategy, RPGs as well.
Yeah.
Like Gettysburg, Civil War, the games Tony plays.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, yeah, when you have to get like a spreadsheet to play your game, like you're in the deep end of it. But no
So how long
spreadsheet
was
needed.
this game at the end of the day?
For
For y'all, anyways.
me, I got 40 hours.
40, huh?
That's about what I was. Yeah.
Let me see.
You can complete it in like a significantly shorter period if you know what you're doing.
Final Fantasy Tactics, like 37 hours for me.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's how long to beat kind of has it between like 40 and 45, I think. At least if you're going for a main story plus extras. Oh,
Where'd you leave off, Javi?
Oh man, I finished the game in 4 hours.
oh, you speed
Um,
ran it. Good job. Good job.
yeah, that's great.
I think you got distracted by Pokemon Pokopia.
Copia. I mean, so like I started the game one night and in bed, and I thought this would be like the best Steam Deck game, like I said last time. And every time I booted it up, I like got like into one mission. Maybe I'd finish it, maybe not, but I would just start dozing off. It was like reading a book, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. and I just never got very far, and wasn't compelled to come back. And like, I just kind of resigned at a certain point where I'm like, I mean, this is a game like y'all have said that is it's pretty well regarded by its fans. Like I respect the game. I think it's probably very, very good. But man, am I not jiving with it, or maybe I'm just not in the mood. But I feel like
Yeah.
this happens a lot with these grid-based tactics games. Like I have fond memories of Advance Wars, but if I'm being honest, I don't think I've ever finished one. you know, like I enjoy them in such small bursts, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I got it. I don't really need to spend too much time here. And that's kind of what happened here. And also, like, I just really am not a big fantasy guy. Like, fantasy kind of makes me less interested in most things. And so, since this is so heavily, in that kind of world, like my brain just kind of like tunes out most of it. So,
Which is kind of interesting because I guess when, if you had me pressed on the spot, like, is Javi a Final Fantasy fan? I'd be like, yes.
oh well, that's maybe a weird wrinkle there. Is that like Final Fantasy IX is one of my favorite games of all time? Maybe it's more. I don't know. I really love like how playful the characters are. It's more cartoony, than like
Yeah, and then there
heavy
is that
fantasy.
sci-fi kind of twist towards the end. Maybe not as much as Final
Right.
Fantasy VIII, but, there's still like another world.
And
Yeah,
this
and
is
then I love Final Fantasy 15 as well, which is very contemporary. So I don't know.
and Tactics is very like it is. I mean, it is Game of Thrones, right? Like, I mean, I
Yeah,
said earlier, but it is that type of fantasy. Like,
yeah,
if that's not your deal, like, yeah, I could see being turned off. Like, yeah, I don't like high fantasy, and this high political fantasy is really not doing it for me.
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Yeah, but
game and the story is it's very political machinations, not so much. I mean, you get to like weird demons and stuff like that eventually, but like, yeah, it's very, I guess, grounded to some degree.
Yeah.
yeah. No, and I
Especially in
feel
that
like
first act. Like the whole first act is very grounded because you don't. There's no monsters. There's none of the demon stuff comes in until the second act. Like it's just this dude and his buddy, and they're dealing with uh, you know an insurrection basically that's going on between the upper and lower class.
yeah, and honestly, like Graph, like in the first act, he's pretty heroic, and then kind of just watching his like fall from like realizing like I didn't have enough power to fulfill my ambitions and letting kind of like revenge kind of consume him.
Hmm.
Although I feel like Ramza did everything he could for his sister. Like, here, use me, like live, and then the sister's like, nah, I'm good. Blech. So yeah, I mean there there really is a lot to love, and I mean like the writing in this game, like I mean there's still some lines like if the what is it? if the penalty for a crime is a fine, then the the only people the law ascertains to are the poor. There's some
Yeah.
really stuff that
like
That's a really
still
long
remains
quote.
rather pertinent.
what was that, Marcus?
Just said that's a really long quote. What
Um,
isn't you know in that one?
to to build off your point though, Dax. Yeah, I think it's like if you enjoyed what was going on in the narrative, like it's not weirdly timely because it was timely in '97 as well, but like where a bunch of religious nutbags are trying to take over the government of a country. Um, this one kind of hits there too. Like, oh, we're gonna put shit on the poor and the working class. We're gonna make their lives more miserable and try to control them while we lie about this religion as well. Like it's again not weirdly timely, but it fits for the time that we're in right now.
It's
No, and I
timely.
mean, like, for most of the story, Ramza is branded like a heretic, so he's
Yeah.
pretty much always at odds with the church itself. Even though, like, at the end of the day, the church wasn't the ultimate baddie. They kind of orchestrated a lot of this war. And then you
Mhm.
find out that
Yeah.
demons behind the scenes were, kind of using the church, but JRPG trope.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got the quote right here. Let's see. Or no, that Marcus was the one asking. My bad. There we go. I'm looking at the peg fee. Yeah. If the penalty for a crime is a fine, that law only exists for the lower class. There we go. That's the exact.
Yeah. Because rich people could pay it off. Like,
Funny, there's a Blue Sky account called Leftist Gamer Memes, and they take lots of screenshots from games and then modify the text to say stuff exactly like that. It's kind of cool. You can just take that out of the game and it works.
just drop it in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, and I mean, like, I felt like this was the first iteration of tactics to include voice acting too. That wasn't in the PSP version, right? Or at least for not for the non-cinematic stuff.
Yeah, no, I think it was all reading, if I remember correctly. I have not played it but that game came out 20 years ago too, so
Yeah.
but I don't remember the voice. Like this is the first time I'm like, oh, this entire script is voice acted. And
Is this how you read it in your head back in the day, though? Do you think?
yeah, only because I played a Vagrant Story, which takes place in the same kind of world, and
Oh, it
there's a
does.
yeah, it takes place in Ivalice. Mulan is mentioned, which is
Oh
one of
shit.
the cities you go to here.
I didn't
Also,
know
Final
that.
Fantasy 12.
Yeah, I
Uh,
knew about Final
takes
Fantasy
place there.
12.
Yeah, because
Um,
it's the director, right? They all have the same director.
maybe that makes sense. That would check out. I've never actually looked into that though. Let's see, Final Fantasy Tactics. But Marcus, to answer your question, yeah, there's like a little bit of voice at the beginning of a Vagrant Story and like a cutscene. Um, the rest of it doesn't really have voice acting, but yeah, that's it's kind of how I heard it in my head. Is that kind of pompous uh, English delivery?
Yeah, very Shakespearean, like
Yeah.
twas, that sort of shit.
And yes, Ben, you are correct. It is the same director or at least he worked on Tactics, Vagrant Story, and Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah, my first foray into Final Fantasy Tactics was the one on the Game Boy that starts with the snowball fight. So, like, I
Mm.
thought the judges were a lot more of a kind of key proponent mechanic in this game. Which I was pleasantly surprised that the judges weren't a thing, because like did you ever play like Tactics like Advance or A2, Chris?
I've not. I've not ever played them. I always mean to, but then don't get around to it. So, are they significantly different from this, or?
Yeah, story is a lot less of an emphasis. Like Advance, at the very least, I'm not sure about A2, is kind of like a isekai story. Like, these school kids are taken to another world, and then. But I was more specifically like judges are kind of a part of each of the kind of like maps battles, and they'll sometimes be like, "Oh, you can't use thunder magic," and then they'll punish you if you use thunder magic.
Got it.
So
That
I'm
sounds
glad that
awful.
well,
Yeah, that sounds like it sucks.
Like I don't think I could make it through. Like if they were like, yeah, you can't use this now. Like what?
yeah, I wasn't even as a kid. It was kind of hard for me to kind of grasp. So I think I would be able to kind of get through the game and a lot less with a lot less friction nowadays. But still, I didn't like that as a kid.
Mm.
But people swear by like A2 at the very least. They really like that game. I think it's worth a pretty penny these days too.
One day I'll poke at it.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Let the past stay in the past.
That's true.
Let the past die.
Oh, kill it if you have to.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, like, I feel like you're kind of taking the advice of the modern Republican Party. Like, yeah, just kill the past. We
No,
don't need to teach
I
about
just
it.
want to play old shitty games.
We're not gonna make you play anymore. We're not gonna make you play A2. You're good. You're safe, Marcus. You're safe. Tactics
I
won't
don't know
ever
what
hurt
Javi
you
will do.
again.
Once it comes
Yeah.
around to Javi's turn, he pulls some crazy suggestions.
Javi's only suggesting grid-based tactics games for Marcus from now on.
Oh my god. Definitely. Go down the line. I'm only going to suggest games that I don't want to play.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys actually played it?
That was a joke.
It's on you. Does anybody actually play God Hand? Wow, good on
Dude,
you.
I want to play God Hand. I've never even touched it, but I'm very curious.
I've heard that game is like very revolutionary in some ways, but also very clunky. It was also like one of those games like, why would you recommend that to Roger Ebert? Back when he was alive.
I think it's a Shinji Mikami joint, which immediately is required reading for me. I'm such a fan, but yeah, I never got to it, so I need to.
So I guess for you tactics fans, what in this game is sort of like a building block that later games really built on? Like what was new here that wasn't sort of here before, or is this like the first one?
This is the first Final Fantasy Tactics, but like like we kind of touched on earlier, there was Tactics Ogre, Fire Emblem before this, and then like some of the job mechanic stuff comes straight from Final Fantasy V, right?
I mean, like
Or
yeah,
very heavily influenced at the very least.
yeah. I mean, they've taken classes from 5. 5 you could definitely adjust your classes, in 4 and 6 you could not. 3 also had a class system where you could change. So yeah, they had drop it over here, but yeah, it's all very much like we've just kind of tossed everything Final Fantasy into a blender, and you have access to all these different classes, and there's chocobos and crystals and
Yeah.
so yeah, but it's the first one of these at the time, Marcus. Like I wasn't familiar with like these types of tactic games before Final Fantasy Tactics back in '97. So
Yeah, to be fair, Fire Emblem hadn't made its way out here to the States yet. We only got Fire Emblem in 2002 when it came, the seventh one came out for the Game Boy.
But did the weebs know
Um,
about it?
what was that?
Did the weebs know about it?
If
Uh,
only.
I mean, I can assume, yeah, but you would
Yeah,
need
I'm
money
sure.
to import it.
Some of them
Yeah,
have
that
money, like too much money.
yeah.
Well, I feel like weebs were in a different economic class back then. Especially when like VHS tapes, for example, would cost so much money.
The bourgeois weeb.
But yeah, no, I think I mean, and then kind of before we get to our, I guess I just wanted to briefly touch on the voice acting. I think like some of you referred to earlier, it has a very much of a Shakespearean like tone to it. So I feel like it the voice actors like what was it? The main two were Joe Pitt and for Ramza. Who was the other one? It was blah 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 blah.
Is it Delita?
Yeah, Delita's
Yeah.
voice actor, Greg Lowe. They did a really good job of bringing the script to light, and I mean, like the way the game ends is pretty very yeah, just Shakespearean tragedy almost. This guy loses his sister to honestly, like they don't even need to shoot her. They just like they could have like shot her a leg, but they're like, no, straight through the heart. We're not dealing with this shit. And almost gets blown up. Comes back and kind of uses the machinations of the church and the demons to kind of further his political kind of career, and ends up married to the queen of Ivalas. And then she's just like, you've used everybody in your life as a pawn, a chess piece. What makes me that much different? And then like stabs him at the end, and then he stabs her back, and they're both dying on the ground. And Delita
And
just
then
being like,
and then a dragon comes and then it
No
wait,
drag.
so where is the voice acting in that? Like
Oh,
what
the
was the impressive part?
I was just gonna say it, and then like Delita's just like, I wonder if you got what you wanted, Ramsa, because this is what I got. Kind of like, I got a sack of rocks, but a stab wound from my wife. I'm just saying, like the voice actor did a
I thought
good
it was a
job of
good
bringing it to
performance.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. There was a good performance there, especially in that finale. Unfortunately, Ramtha didn't get what he wanted either. Like he's basically on the run for the rest of his life. So
yeah, but I mean, like he got a happier ending.
sure, he lives. Like him and his sister live, and they're not tied to their noble house anymore. So
Yeah,
I
and they
living
get to
is
ride
definitely
chocobos into the sunset. Come on,
sure.
like
What more can you
Living's
ask for?
Yeah,
living's preferable to
exactly.
death. So
But yeah, no, I thought the voice acting was very well done across the board, and the writing, even for a 13-year-old game, I think it holds up pretty well on the a modern day. And yeah, I guess I was surprised. I was surprised by that. Not that those game RPGs from the 90s don't have good writing, but sometimes it's like when you play the original Final Fantasy 7, it's got some like very you know the environmentalism themes are very poignant, but at the same time Cloud being like a Mako kind of doll puppet. Some of that stuff can make you feel like roll your eyes sometimes. I feel like I never really got that with this.
I felt that way in the remake too of 7 though.
Okay, well,
They threw a lot of just sort of bleh in there to sort of beef up the story and try to add character that didn't necessarily felt like it fit. the overarching themes. Well, at least with this, from what I played, because I only got to the bit where you're trying to rescue your sister from like a castle, and you meet those two siblings that have my power's heaven and my power's the other thing, um, and
Oh,
all
okay.
all throughout, like it felt
The
pretty
ninja
consistent with the way
siblings.
everyone was talking to each other. Like it nothing ever really felt out of place. That the story was always taking itself pretty pretty seriously. I think there was a couple like I don't know exchanges between people that gave them a little bit more character and actually told us a bit more about their motivations than just I'm Noble House doing the right thing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Noble House being an evil piece of shit. I'm also Noble House being an evil piece of shit, but for my other house, like I liked the exchanges that you would get in battle. It made those battles actually have something to them, and it really depended on like who you brought to that battle. Sort of was what that exchange was. Those sort of bits were cool, and I appreciated it. Um, and I just felt like, and I don't know why seven's the sort of reference point here, but I think it was just a more consistent tone, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Seven's a good touchstone comparison for this too, because like 7 came out right around the same time as the original Tactics. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, they tie in like
Station.
Cloud for a reason.
yeah, they're both well, like the Final Fantasy 7 is 1997, and then Tactics releases 1997 in Japan, 1998 the rest of the world. So
Was
uh,
Cloud in the original too? That wasn't just a thing they did for
yeah,
this.
yeah, no, he's in the
Oh, that's
original. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Aerith's in the original too for some reason. Just, even though she's already dead in the story.
Kind
funny.
of. I mean, there's a flower girl that they call Aerith, but I don't think it's
She's in the light
actual
stream.
Aerith.
Oh yeah, no, I said a version of Aerith, even though
Yeah,
she's already dead in Final Fantasy VII's world.
yeah, yeah. Cloud's just a complete lunatic in this one. Like
As he should be.
mind's fried. Well, I apologize, Marcus, that you did not have a good go with this one. I'm glad you guys chose it because I'd been wanting to go back to replay it for a long time and gave me a reason to finally do it. So
Yeah, I think honestly, you gave me an excuse to play this game, and like I said, there were some parts that there was some friction, and kind of having, this kind of, VG club gave me the incentive to kind of power through those more frustrating slow bits. Because what is it? There was a part where you're storming the Marquess's castle.
Mhm.
That one was another frustrating part for me, in addition to the Wheatgraph one. Did y'all have any trouble there if you got to there?
I remember the game definitely has like a handful of very like difficult spikes where like, oh wow, this battle's way more harder than anything else that I've seen. So like it possibly that one did. There's a handful that I remember really. A lot of the boss fights for sure were like
Yeah, it was the
pretty
one
big
with the
difficulty spikes for
twin
sure.
demon sisters that you first encounter on the roof of
Yes,
the castle.
yes, yes. That one was rough. I remember that now.
Yeah, the status effects were bad. It's like you can
Mhm.
prepare against everything, but then it's just like, oh, since you're a boy, and we're gonna start Rams at the absolute center of the map, he's always gonna get like charmed.
Yeah, there's sometimes in the story-based battles some absolute bullshit that
No,
that is
and
just set up for you.
yeah, and like especially like the Wheatgraph, the demonic Wheatgraph fight, you have to fight with Ramza alone
Alone,
when we
yeah.
doing this.
Oh yeah.
So there's a couple of frustrating points like that, but and then there's also like only there's a handful of moves you can only learn if like a enemy does an exact attack to you. That also
Yes.
frustrated me. I kind
Yeah,
of gave up. I was just like, okay, this move's supposed to be really good, like Ultima, but I keep getting hit by all these like status spells, and I just don't want to have to repeat this.
yeah, I didn't even bother trying to like max out the all the skills because it wasn't gonna happen.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, I mean, and Javi, this was your first time playing Tactics, or did you play it before, like on the PSP or in the PlayStation days?
No, I've never played this before. I think I bought the PSP version or no, well, a friend of mine was like a super fan. It's like one of their favorite games, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, I'll check that out." I remember like buying it. I might have like started a game, but it actually probably turned out exactly how this playthrough went, where it's like I'm just not, I'm not vibing with this. I don't know, and it just went nowhere.
Everything's cyclical. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, Ben, what were your final thoughts on the game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Thought you were
Yeah. I think ultimately, I liked it. I definitely had some frustrating moments early on, but once I kind of like powered through and understood what the game was asking me, I kind of it started to click a little bit more. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I definitely see how like why it's such a fan favorite. Like I think the story is very, very good, and I do think it holds up pretty well. So yeah, ultimately, I guess like you said, I'm glad I powered through it because I'm not sure I would have if I didn't have didn't have this to push me through. But yeah, ultimately, pretty glad I did.
And then Javi, I know you said you only put 4 hours into the game.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, I think I get the gist of how you felt about it, but what were your final thoughts based on those 4 hours?
Um, I mean, it's very old school, and I think if you're in the market for that kind of experience, it's probably, I have to imagine one of the better tactics games to play. Sounds like the story gets pretty involved and interesting. So I don't
Yeah, and
know. Yeah.
no, and to answer, I think you asked an earlier question, kind of asking about other kind of games in this genre. Like the more recent, like Fire Emblems, they've introduced like a kind of uh, travel, time control mechanics that allow you to kind of rewind, redo turns and stuff. And that
Right.
kind of helps out a lot because in this game you can't really save a battle. So if you make a mistake, you have to repeat the entire battle. So I
Yeah.
would say like things have improved on that front, if for accessibility reasons at the very least. So
Hmm.
just something to consider if you want to ever check out one of the more recent Fire Emblem games. I think the what is it? Not Faiths. What's the new one that's coming out? It's
Yeah, I forget the name, but I know what you mean. I mean,
something
I
to
did.
do with like weaving.
Yeah.
Sorry, this
It's
is gonna
funny.
bug me.
There's not a single grid-based tactics game that I've completed. Like even the ones that I'm fond of, like probably Advance Wars 1 is the one I've played the most. And then Fire Emblem Three Houses, I really wanted to get into. Everybody was obsessed with it. And I loved how it looked. And I'm like, cool, there's a story here. It's kind of a like your own Hogwarts, school that you're a teacher at, and like you grow to like care about your students. Like all that should work on paper. I'm like, ooh, I want to get super interested in this. And I played quite a bit of it, but like fell off. Like I don't know, man. Something about the gameplay loop. You know what it is with Fire Emblem at least is I'm really stubborn and like if somebody dies in a battle, I just
Yep.
restart it. I just start it
Yep.
over.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing about the more recent Fire Emblems too. You can turn the kind of quote unquote casual mode on, and death isn't permanent anymore.
Well, that's the thing is that like I also love the idea of such high stakes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm my own worst enemy. So like
Oh, no, fair enough. I am too.
yeah. Yeah. So I won't turn on casual mode because I want that risk. But at the
You w-
same time, it's
you want to do it
unacceptable
right.
for somebody to die. Yeah.
Like I have to do it perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. Which means I never progress. Like I just end up burning out on like a stage that's particularly hard. And I'm like, well, never playing this. So yeah.
And then let's get all the negativity out of the way. No, I'm kidding. Marcus, kind of, you got farther into the game than Javi did. If you got to the kind of castle with the kind of twins from like that ninja clan, then I think you got at least 20 hours in, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So,
Kind of same line of thought as Javi.
a worse line of thought, I would say. Because yeah, I similar to y'all, I would have put this game down much sooner, maybe even sooner than Javi did, if we didn't have this game club as sort of the motivating factor. But it was just a pain to play it, and so often I would play it and be like, oh, okay, cool, like I got another story bit, like that was good, that's good motivation, let's keep going. Then I'd hit a wall and I'd have to grind, and and sometimes I would like throw on a TV show or something to like focus on that while clicking a
Yep.
button every now and then grinding. But even still, it was just like this. I've just like made my show lesser by playing this piece of crap. Like, well, I'm trying to watch it.
Piece of
It
crap.
just was not enjoyable. I yeah, I did not I did not like it. If they remade this game someday, like properly remade it, not just the sort of well, we did it all. I guess reimagined it is maybe the better term here. They reimagined the game and it was a lot more streamlined. I would be uh there day one. But I will, as it stands, will never play another tactics game again if I can help it.
I think that they would, if they were to do a new one, I don't think it would have as much grinding
Isn't
necessary
the
in it.
Game Boy Advance gonna
Marcus
make a
over here,
totally
like,
different game?
would you like to play Final Fantasy Tactics? I do not like Final Fantasy Tactics. I do not like Final Fantasy Tactics at all. I would not like them here or there. I would not like them anywhere. I do not like Final Fantasy Tactics in a house. Then
Or on my couch.
Yep.
no. Sorry, you were saying that diatribe. I was like, this is reminding me of Greetings.
Yeah, except I'm
Ha-
right.
Javi, I think you're right that the GBA and DS ones are different.
But
than
the
the
GBA one is just called Final Fantasy Tactics, right? Or Advanced. I think it's called.
Advance,
Tactics
yeah.
Advanced, yeah.
And the DS one's A2.
Crazy.
Yeah, and there's less story to bog you down. So if that was your problem, then
That was no one's
do I
problem
have?
here.
I I would say if there was less story in this, I would have dropped out because like the grinding is a
Fair.
lot, but like the reason I wanted to grind was to see the guy. I wanted to see what would
Mhm.
happen next, so I want to advance the story.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
Right, that's
yeah,
the
no,
history
no.
of this game goes.
Sorry, what was that, Marcus?
No, that's fine. You were going to tell us your closing thoughts?
Oh, I was gonna let Chris finish as well. They
Oh.
kind of got started with their closing thoughts.
Yeah, no, I mean I enjoyed the game quite a bit. I could see where you would fall off it, but um, I enjoyed it back when I played it in '97. I did not finish all the way through there. This version definitely has been streamlined a little bit.
I think the loading times are significantly better, right?
Yes,
I
like
recall the
yeah, when you would die, like it would like if you had to reset, it just took forever. This doesn't take long if you fail out of a mission. The fast forward button, like while it doesn't speed everything up, like you can definitely speed through enemy moves to get to your next move. Um, so yeah, I had a good time with it. I don't know if I would recommend it as like somebody's first tactics game.
Yeah, same.
And having played Path of Radiance for the first time this year, I would recommend that definitely over this if like you're new to tactics. I think it's just an easier game to kind of grasp and follow along with, as opposed to this, which requires you to kind of you're gonna have to grind, and that's not great. I did similar to what Marcus did, but I was able to like drop it onto my Steam Deck and like watch a TV show or do something else while I was instead of having to just sit like in front of my monitor or something. Like I was able to kind of like move around the house and do shit while I was grinding. So that
Yeah, I was
it
watching a
wasn't
lot
the
of Let's
first.
Plays and watching old anime.
Yeah. But it's like I'm playing Final Fantasy VII right now as well, the original, and like you have to grind in that too. Like that was just how those games were kind of structured then. It's not great structure, but it just that's how it was. Like
Product of its time.
we're gonna add all this extra, um, not extra, but we're gonna make you engage with the gameplay, uh, because we want you to drag out 40 hours. It's what really like the narrative here is probably a 20-hour game overall. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I had a good
Yeah.
time. I'm glad y'all chose it because I don't know when I would have got into it otherwise. But I was happy with it.
Yeah. And honestly, yeah, I'm very much along a kind of similar train of thought as Ben. There was kind of some points where I kind of had to. There were some points that there was friction. I kind of having kind of like VG Club as a motivator to kind of get through those points was not nice because I could definitely have seen myself putting down this game at like certain points. But otherwise, I feel like the story, the writing, voice acting, and even the music, even though my my wife is just my wife's like, I don't know if I want you playing that while I'm reading. The music is just so relaxing; it makes me fall asleep.
Oh wow, that's a good
And
thing.
I was playing the game at a friend's house when we were kind of staying there, and he's somebody who played the original Tactics back in the day, and he's just like, "Hey, would you mind switching to something else? I know this game can be fun and engaging if you're playing it, but it's probably the most boring game ever."
Nobody wants you to play this game.
Does
Can you
seem
do
that
anything
way.
Take a
else?
hint.
Holy crap!
But
Can you
I mean, like
stop what you're doing?
I switched over to Windswept, which was it's like the duck and turtle like Donkey Kong Country like game, and
Never heard of it.
that was that was a lot better. I
It sounds better already. Yeah.
You got to play Nico Dorico. Have you heard of that?
no.
It is basically just like if you're a fan of Tropical Freeze, like the 2.5D Donkey Kong, like it is 100% just like doing that, but it's really, really good. It's an indie game and it looks great.
Yeah, Nico and Dorito, like literally Dorito, as
It's
in the
one
same
word,
spelling as.
Nico
Oh,
Dorico. Nico
Dorico.
Dorico.
Okay. Kind of sounds like I'm playing through a game called Snake Pass right now, and the two main
Dude, I
characters
love
are
Snake
Noodle and
Pass.
Doodle. It's really
Yes,
good.
that was a Switch like early title, and I don't know if I didn't review it, but I played the hell out of it, 100%ed it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
one where you drive the snake.
Huh? Yeah, the snake. Yeah,
kind of
you wrap around stuff. It's like a platformer where you can't jump. You can just wrap around stuff.
pretty. It's still pretty innovative, even like God, almost like 8 years later.
Yeah, yeah. I put Nico Dorico in the chat. Don't vote for it,
Okay.
but or do because it's very cool. But yeah,
But yeah, no. All in all, really liked it. But yeah, if this is your first tactical turn-based game RPG. You might get what's the word I'm looking for? You might you might get scared from the genre, so I would probably recommend a Fire Emblem game. But yeah, no, that is Final Fantasy Tactics. And yeah, Javi, are you the one that's choosing our next game?
Marcus.
Nope.
Marcus has
all
given
right.
us
Look at
the
that
games.
cat. Anyways, the 4 choices for our next game are Deliver Us Mars, Schedule 1, Revenge of the Savage Planet, and Pacific Drive.
Okay.
Enter
Why
your
did
votes
Deliver Us Mars
now.
not give us a preview?
I
I
don't
didn't
know.
even
It's
realize
weird,
that
right?
was one.
I think it's that Evilist
What the hell
Chronicles
is
screenshot.
this?
Just really scaring stuff away.
I just bought Deliver Us Mars this past week.
Okay.
Oh, Epic gave it away for free in one of their many giveaways. So
Oh, I must have missed that one.
Hmm.
Or I have it and I just don't know. Which is gonna be annoying if I do.
did you already start playing? Can you just refund it?
Well, I bought it on a Microsoft store, so I don't think I can refund it there. Maybe I can. I don't know. I did not start playing it though.
I assumed Microsoft let you do refunds, but no idea.
I've never
Okay,
never
so
tried it.
Pacific Drive, Revenge of the Savage Planet, and Deliver Us Mars. Okay, there wasn't an image for that. Honestly,
so
Revenge of the okay, Revenge of the okay, we got 3 votes for Deliver Us Mars,
And 3
1
for
vote
Pacific
for.
Drive.
Okay, I can be. Pacific Drive sounds really cool. I think I'm gonna. Well, actually, let me look a bit more into Deliver Us into Mars. Let's see.
No, Deliver Us Mars.
Okay.
Like go there, package it up, and give it to us.
Yeah, give me Mars.
Okay, that's 749.
I do own all of these except Revenge of the Savage Planet, so that's good.
You on Schedule 1?
Yeah.
Have you played it?
No, I got it as part of like a it was part of like a humble choice at some point.
Oh shoot. Okay.
So
I just heard people talk about it, and I was like, ooh. Oh, looks like
Yeah,
fun.
I think I saw a
Pacific
stream that said
Drive looks
one.
cool, but it's also $30.
It's on services. I think it's on both PS Plus and Game Pass.
But that means I have to pay for one of those.
oh, if you don't have it, like, do you redeem the Epic games like Marcus said? Because
Oh, is it one of those?
So it was one of them.
Oh,
Yeah, I missed the boat on that as well. Okay, I think I'm gonna go Deliver Us Mars, and I believe that makes it win out over
Pacific Drive, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
all right.
good.
Cool. So
Well, if anybody spends 40 hours on this, you fucked up.
Yeah, it's not long, right? Like it's
No.
let's see, Deliver. I want to be
4 hours.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
It's as long as you want it to be in that case.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's. I mean, Marcus. I mean, Javi wasn't too far off. It's saying like about 8 hours for the main story.
All
Main
right.
story, that's good.
So yeah, I'm sure you could speedrun this in 4 hours or less.
Just it is the second Deliver Us game.
Mhm.
The first was called Deliver Us the Moon. I don't know if they're narratively tied. I don't think it probably matters one way or the other, but
Yeah, I think you're the same person, but the first game had a lot less narrative stuff going on than the second one does.
yeah.
All right, and then I am gonna buy the game before I forget while it's still 75% off.
There you go. It's a good discount.
Yep. All right, and that is our episode. That is our episode on Final Fantasy Tactics. Next time we will be talking about Deliver Us Mars. And yeah, anybody have any closing thoughts before we hop off?
No, I'm just gonna be
All
really
right.
glad to like finish a game.
It sounds like you struggle with procrastination, Marcus. Let's
No, it
talk
sounds like
about
I
that.
struggle with shitty games.
Let's talk about that.
All right, that is an
Stand there.
episode. Thank you so much for listening to all of us, and I hope whoever's listening has a wonderful day. This is VG Club, and we're out. Say bye, Javi.
Adios.
Goodbye.